Party games have been ruined because any party game that has a board in it will always forever be referred to as a Mario Party. It's kind of annoying because Sonic Shuffle, the first party game on Dreamcast, is always being seen as a Mario Party clone. It's more than just a game similar to Mario Party though. There is so much more that goes into Sonic Shuffle, so much more thinking, so much more strategizing, and so much more betrayal. In Sonic Shuffle, the goal of the game is to traverse the board to get to a certain spot that has a stone called a precious stone. There are 7 in a full-length game. To move through the board, you use cards. Each player has a hand of 7 cards. They randomly get cards of 1 through 6, but the way it works is you can get like 3 1s, 2 2s, and a 6. That's just an example. It's not guaranteed those are the numbers you're gonna get. It's always random. But, as you can see, I only listed 6 cards in that example. There are 2 cards that are special. One is an S card, also known as a special card. I was trying to make a joke, like saying that there's 2 cards that are special. Okay, I guess the joke didn't land. Anyway, the S card allows 1 of 3 options when you select it. The first option is you can spin a roulette to land on a number of 1 to S, with S being 7. The number you land on is how many spaces you move. The second option is swapping hands with another player. The third option is taking cards from each player to fill your hand until you have 7 cards. Then there's the Eggman card. When someone chooses this card, they must spin a roulette and something bad, sometimes good, happens to either them or everyone. When it comes to these 2 cards, 3 players get an S card, 1 player gets an Eggman card. So right there off the bat, you can see that there's a huge difference between Shuffle and Mario Party. But we have only scratched the surface. Let's dive deeper. Now here's the tip of the strategy this game has that Mario Party doesn't. Other than the S card and the Eggman card, there are 4 copies of each card. 4 1s, 4 2s, 4 3s, and so on. You can't see the cards another player has. You have to look at your Dreamcast controller to see the cards that you have in your hand if you're playing versus mode. In story mode, you can see your cards without having to look at your controller, but you can also just look at your controller anyway if you want that, discreet roleplay experience. When selecting a card, you can see the discard pile of cards on the right of the screen. These are cards that have either been used or discarded. This is a major part of the game because of this huge game changer I'm about to tell you guys. You can steal cards from anyone at any time. You can have a full hand, but if you just want to go to someone else's hand to take what they got, you totally can. However, you don't know what you're getting unless you look at the discard pile and do a little process of elimination. Maybe all the 6 cards are used, so you know for a fact that they don't have a 6. Or all the S cards are used, but an Eggman card hasn't been used. So if you're paying attention, you can easily find out who's holding an Eggman card. Because remember, 3 players get an S card, 1 player gets an Eggman card. This game has a lot going for it. Meanwhile, moving in Mario Party is rolling a dice, hoping for the best, while being forced in a direction. You see, with Sonic Shuffle, you're not being forced into a direction. Let's say you use the 5. You can go left, right, up, or down. You don't have to just go right, because that's forward. No, you just have to make sure you move all the spaces you got from your card, because you can't stop midway. That's the only caveat. There's a method to this because instead of always going to the precious stone, you can go to where you think the precious stone will be. It's a method that I actually like to use in the second map of this game. By the way, the precious stone isn't always in the same spot. Once a player gets one, a different one shows up at a different spot. Depending on the map, they always appear either at predetermined spaces or random spaces. Only thing that isn't random is that they will always appear on the blue RGB spot. What I like to do is predict where the next stone will be if I can get to the current one before another player does. So while Mario Party has their items such as the double dice and mushrooms to move extra spaces, Sonic Shuffle has force jewels. There are over 30 types of force jewels in this game. The best kind in my opinion are speeder rolls. They allow you to use 2 cards at once to move. Pretty cool, right? Then there are turbo speeder rolls and high speeder rolls, which increase the amount of cards that you can use. Then there's the max speeder roll as well, which can let you move 5 cards to move. They're just freaking amazing force jewels. Like, 5 cards to move? That's crazy. Imagine you use like 4 6s and a 5. You're going anywhere you want. It's amazing. Sonic speeder rolls are also a thing. What they do is that they allow you to move 30 spaces, but in a completely random direction. on a random path. You have no idea where you're going. This can be compared to how you move in Mario Party, except it won't be a predetermined path, but it's absolutely random, which can cause some chaos in your own plan, or in other people's plans if you want to be a chaotic neutral player. Trust me, I've run into quite a number of those, but I deal with them. So, Precious Stones. Those aren't free, you know. No, they don't cost 20 rings, like how stars do in Mario Party. They require you to fight the monsters that dwell inside the stone. See how different the games are? Seeing it yet? Seeing it yet? No? Okay, I'll keep going. You have to fight them with cards. If the monster has a 3 above their head, you have to use a 3 or higher to defeat it. But it's not that simple. When you choose a card to battle, it will become a roulette, and you need to press A at the right time to get the number you want. If you choose a 4, it'll cycle through 1, 2, 3, and 4. It'll just keep on spinning and spinning and spinning and spinning and spinning. Now, let me explain this roulette for a second. It's not as random as you think. The roulette requires timing, not luck. It is very possible to choose the number you want when the card spins. It takes a lot of practice, but you can learn how to land on the exact number you want every time. Mastering this is crucial for beating your friends and the AI, because trust me, the AI loves to cheat. As for minigames, you are not forced into a minigame after everyone has their turn. Minigames happen when a player stops on an event space. Even then, there's a chance it might be a mini event instead of a mini game. Mini events brings the player into a random little storyline with random outcomes. Sometimes they're not random, sometimes they are. There's also times where a mini game can randomly happen after a player's turn. The game calls it an accident. It doesn't happen too often. Finally, and this one's big, every character has their own ability. Sonic's is to move double the spaces when choosing the same card consecutively. Tails can fly over spaces that has his tail symbol on it. Knuckles can climb on spaces that has his climbing symbol on it. Amy can use her hammer to vault herself over spaces that have her hammer on it. There are unlockable characters too. Big's an unlockable character, and he can use the 6 and stop anywhere he wants while he's using the 6. So instead of going the whole 6 spaces, he can just say like, I want to go 4, and there you go. He can just move wherever he wants. Gamma ignores minus ring spaces. So when he uses a 4, 5, or 6, he doesn't lose rings if he stops on those red minus ring spaces. Chao only has a battle ability that I'll get into soon, don't worry. We kind of don't use Chao in Sonic Shuffle. And Super Sonic has an ability similar to Sonic, except Sonic can only move double spaces once. So for example, if Sonic uses a 6 on turn 1 and then a 6 on turn 2, he moves 12 spaces on turn 2. However, when it comes to Super Sonic, that rule does stay the same, but when it comes to turn 3 and he uses a 6 on turn 3, he then gets to move 12 spaces again. And then, if you do the same thing on turn 4, you can move 12 spaces again. So that consecutive card rule applies from turns 1 through 4 for Super Sonic, and for regular Sonic, just turns 1 to 2. So, Super Sonic, dare I say, is the best character in the game. He's kind of broken, but that's only if you can get his hands on those cards. Remember, you can steal cards and ruin other people's plans, but remember, you don't exactly know what you're getting unless you can really narrow it down with the discard / used up card pile section. Do you see the strategy now? Surely you do by now. Okay, now for the battle abilities. Every character needs to use an S card to activate their battle abilities. There is also a different attack animation when using an S card, kind of a neat little touch there. Sonic does not have a battle ability. Tails, on the other hand, does. Tails is able to select multiple cards, and Knuckles does the same. So when they use an S card, they can choose 2 cards to battle with. Amy will always get a 5 whenever she uses an S card, so she doesn't need to worry about the card roulette system because it'll always be a 5. Big gets to select 2 cards, but the second one will have its number increased by 1. Gamma gets 2 cards, however, you can only select numbers 1 through 3 when they're in the roulette mode. Chao's ability is that the enemy will not attack back if Chao does not defeat the enemy. And Super Sonic gets to have a roulette of numbers 4 through 6. With all these features, strategies, and abilities in mind, this game proves to be vastly different from any Mario Party game. It stands on its own, and if you want to play a competitive game, don't be afraid to go at Sonic Shuffle. Just don't be that guy who always steals other people's cards. It always ruins my plans. My plans? Their plans. Their plans, not my plans. Yeah, I'm okay. Don't steal my cards. I hope I was able to establish the main differences between Sonic Shuffle and Mario Party, because I'm always being told, oh, that's just like Mario Party, when I'm like, no, it's not. Mario Party has so much more RNG. This is actually strategic. It's just a trigger for me. My goodness. Anyway, I hope you all enjoyed. Subscribe if you really like my content, but I'll see you all next time. Stay blue and have an S-rank day.